Last time on Ralph Goldsmith Photography, because this is what's in my camera bag. For me, I'm now heading off to go and find a scene to shoot in a couple of hours around about sunset. And now, the conclusion. Okay, so we've got about an hour till sunset. I've come along the mountain and onto sort of like a little hill that's sticking out from the side, looking for a possible composition using the mountain section there behind me. Now the challenge that I'm facing is I am on the side of a mountain, so basically everything is on one side of the frame, and what I'm trying to do is find something that I can put on the opposite side of the frame to balance the image, otherwise it just doesn't feel right. So I've got a couple of possibles here, all depending on what happens with the clouds over there. The sun's going to be setting over that way, so it should side light the scene nicely, but there's another little hill just over that way, and I think I've just got time to quickly go over there and have a look and see if there's something better before I have to make a decision. Okay, now this hill's got nothing on the top to act as a foreground interest. Well, it has, but it's all not very pretty. So I think I'm going to go back to the other hill over there and see if there's a shot to be had. A lot depends on what happens with those clouds as well. I prefer them to be a bit higher, but we'll see. We might get a nice sunset, and then once we've explored looking in that direction, once the sun actually drops, there might be something looking over towards the setting sun with the distant mountains, maybe. I've done that a few times, so we'll see. Time to be getting over the other side again. Okay, so about 50 minutes until sunset, although there's mountains over there, so as is so often the case here, we'll lose the light before that. I think I've chosen a composition. So as I was saying before, I've got the mountains over this side, but because I'm on the side of the mountain, everything is over that side of the frame, and it looks unbalanced. So what I'm looking for is something that I can put in the bottom right-hand corner of the frame, bottom left-hand corner of the frame, as you're looking at it, that will help to balance the image. Now what I've chosen is this beautiful golden grass that we've got here, which hopefully will continue to glow in the light as the sun goes down and will make the foreground interesting. We'll have hopefully some nice light on the mountain, and hopefully the clouds that are there might get some colour in as well. So I think I'm going to get set up, refine the composition to exactly how I want it, and then it's just a case of waiting for the optimum light. Okay, so I took a couple of test shots of that composition, and the more I looked at it, the more I just wasn't completely convinced it was working. The grass is blowing around a little bit in the breeze, and as the light's getting lower, that of course means that I'm getting a slower shutter speed, and that's all blurry. Now I could just have that as an effect, which could work, or I could do a higher ISO exposure to freeze that and then merge it later, but I'm just not convinced it's working. So I've actually just gone for a completely different composition, 70 to 200 lens, and I'm really just focusing on that big lump of rock up there. There's a ridge line running up, there's some trees kind of in the foreground, there's another little rocky ridge there, which I shot a couple of videos ago, 2 or 3 videos ago. It's got a little farmhouse on it. So that's catching the light quite nicely. So just about to lose the sun, probably another 5 minutes or so, at which point all the light on that mountain is going to disappear. And then it'll be a case of waiting and seeing if the sky lights up after the sunset. We can but hope. So the light on the mountain is really nice at the moment, but we're just about to lose it. Literally within a matter of a minute, the sun's going to disappear behind the mountains over there, and the light will disappear here. At the moment, although the sky's not got much colour in it, it's got some quite nice texture. Just very slight sort of pinky hues, but not very much. Mostly blues and whites, but just a little tiny hint of pink. But the light on the mountain now is fading fast. In terms of light on the mountain, I think we've had the best. So now we have to consider whether we do something else. If that sky lights up, I don't want to miss it, but on the other hand, it's finding a composition. Okay, so now that the sun's gone down, I've gone back to kind of my original idea for a composition, with this grass in the foreground, the mountains in the background, and the clouds, which are actually looking quite nice up above. As the sun's gone down, the breeze has dropped, so these grasses aren't moving anywhere near as much, and I think what little they are moving, I'm happy to accept a little bit of blurring. So I'm shooting with a 16 to 35 lens at 16 millimeters. I'm going to go f16, and that's about 1 second. Yeah, so I'll do 1 second, half a second, and 2 seconds. Yeah, so the 1 second one is just blowing out a little tiny bit in the corner. Might not matter actually. The half a second shot is a bit underexposed in the shadows, and the 2 second shot's actually picking out lots and lots of detail. So yeah, that will work as a exposure to merge quite easily. Okay, there's not a lot of light on this scene, so I think I'm going to try something else. Right, quick change of composition, change of lens, pointing in a completely different direction. I'm pointing just to the left of where the sun has set. Well, went behind a mountain about 10 minutes ago, but it actually is only setting about now. But basically what we've got is a series of mountains and ridges going out there, and then quite a nice sky. It's not fiery red, it's just got some pinks in it, but it looks quite nice. It's kind of one of those soft, fine arty type shots. So we've got just a hint of pink in the bottom part of the sky. Nothing particularly wonderful, but it's nice. My intention is that these are going to be underexposed. In fact, I've underexposed the images anyway, because I want the mountains, particularly the foreground layer, to be really dark and just like a series of shaded shapes going back, and then the sky beyond, which has got a little bit of colour in, but not a massive amount. Some nice patterns in the clouds though. Got out to about, I don't know, probably about 150 millimeters. Right now, it's 20 minutes after sunset. I think if the sky was going to light up, it already would have, so I'll probably hang on for another 5 minutes just to be on the safe side, but I think it's time to pack up and head for home. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have and you want to see more, don't forget, subscribe, unless you have already, in which case, thank you very much. Like, shares and comments, I love them. And I'll just say thanks very much for watching, and until the next video, bye.